actually going to make the logo, what you've been waiting for, I hope. Okay, so at this point you should understand the graphic design process, so ask questions: who's the audience, what are the colors, what is the message or feel, what is the format, what are the dimensions. Then research. You should figure out, hey, what have other people done before? So you need to do that. Get images and save it in your assets folder. So what that's going to look like, what I need you to do, is if you're going to borrow any picture, so like for example if you wanted a picture of a monkey or an ape or something like that, you could do that. So you'd go to the internet, and my computer quit working. Oh, and it's back. Okay, so you could grab you could go to the internet, okay, and you could, for me, I wanted to get a picture of a Spitfire because fire is important. So I click on it and then I right click it and I'm going to say save image as, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to my folder with my name on it, okay, and there's a folder with my name on it. I'm going to double click on it. I'm going to make a folder called ape, so I'm going to make a new folder called ape. I'm going to go in there, I'm going to make a new folder called hovercraft logo, and I'm going to go in there and make a folder called assets, and I'm going to save it in there with a name that makes sense, so I called it Spitfire. So I hit save and we're good to go. Okay, so we've got our assets. So any pictures that you're going to use, so collect pictures that you're going to borrow and use as reference and put it in that folder. Okay, so if you haven't already done so, you definitely need to brainstorm and sketch on paper. So get a piece of paper, sketch out what you want your logo to look like. It doesn't have to look great on paper, it's just a brainstorming session, but you do need to add a measurement because I want you to know how big this is. And then that picture that you draw on paper, add it to your notes for me. So we'll turn all those notes in at the same time. Alright, so now finally we're ready for Illustrator. So we're going to open up Illustrator. We're going to go File, New, and depending on what you want to do, you're going to choose the size you want, but 8.5 by 11 is fine. That's portrait. You could also do 11 by 8.5, which is landscape, and you're going to title this thing, I'm going to call it Brian's Hovercraft Logo, and then you're going to click OK. I've already done it. And then you're going to get a document that looks like this, and then you're going to save it, file save as, and you're going to save it in your folder with your name on it as something like that. Okay, so I'm in my folder with my name on it inside my hovercraft logo folder, and I've already done that. Alright, so the next thing we're going to do is we're going to, if you're going to borrow any artwork that you're going to work off of, you're going to go File, Place. And you're going to look and you're going to say, oh, I'm in my assets folder. Go into your assets folder and we're going to open up the Spitfire picture, and we're going to use the selection tool and we're going to resize it. Now we don't want them to get long and skinny, so we hit shift to retain the correct proportions. Okay, so I'm going to make my Spitfire nice and big as I want. And one thing we're going to do is we're going to go view and we're going to turn on the rulers, because you always want to know how big this thing is. So this particular Spitfire is 2, 4, 6. It's about 6 inches wide, depending. So you always want to know what you're doing. Okay, so I'm going to click off of it, and that's done. Now, I don't want, as I'm drawing, I don't want this thing getting moved all over the place. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to lock that layer. Okay, a layer is like a sheet of plastic, and you can just draw on the sheet of plastic, and then you can add a new sheet of plastic on top, and so I can draw without messing him up. Okay, now let's take a look at the spiel here, because I'm probably going to tell you some important stuff. Okay, so turn on, oh, we already did all that. And place the picture, trace it with the pen tool, lock the layer, make a new layer on top, and trace. That is all true. Here's the tricks that I want you guys to know. Read those, and then now I'm going to show them to you here. Okay, so here's what I want you guys to do is start tracing. So remember, when you're tracing, it's important to figure out where the bumps are, right? So on this thing, so we're going to say, oh, let's start here. We're going to click and drag. Now when you drag the handle, you never usually don't want to drag inside the shape. You want to drag along the shape. Sometimes you'll go a little bit into the shape, but not seriously. Alright, so you'll click and drag. Okay, and then the next thing is like, where am I going to make the next point? And so for me, I think the next point is going to be, I could go here or here. I'm going to go here and I'm going to drag up. Okay, and then the next one I'll drag at the very top of the thing, and then the next one I'm going to drag here. Now the next thing to remember is this. You always look forward, not back. Okay, and so you can see I'm filling it with color, so I'm going to get rid of the fill, and then I'm going to make my stroke a little thicker so we can see it easier. Okay, so I'm going to mess up on purpose to show you what I'm talking about. Alright, so let's say I do this. I'm gonna mess up on purpose. I'm gonna go way too far. Okay, don't try to fix this. We'll come back and fix it. And the same thing if I go here. See, look, it's like if I try to get this perfect, right? If I try to get this the stuff on back perfect, I'm gonna mess up the stuff ahead. So what I'm doing is I'm like, where does this handle need to go for the stuff ahead? It needs to go right there, and then I will go probably here. And like that, I need to go there, and then I go here. So I got this one right. And so later when I'm done, let's just pretend like I'm done. I can go back with a direct selection tool, and it's like, okay, well this, I can grab this and drag this out. Okay, I can click on this, and I can drag this handle back. So always look ahead, because you can always come back, and this handle is way too far. There you go. So the main thing is getting the anchors in the right spot and then come back and edit. The other thing you can do as well is you can click and drag. Okay. Another thing to think about too is you can build stuff with shapes. So let's say I have this. I have a shape, and I want to take some stuff away from it. So what I can do is this. I can draw another shape. Click, 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 and then I'm going to finish it. I'm going to have a closed path here. Okay, so then I can select both of these things. I click on this, hit Shift, and click on this, and then I can go Window to Pathfinder, and I can subtract. And so you see I can add to shape. So that's another good tool that you can use to make the shapes that you want. Okay, here's something not to do. Here's what I see people do a lot. So they're going to try to draw this thing, and they're like, oh, I'll draw a line, and I'll draw a line, I'll draw a line, I'll draw a line, draw a line, draw a line, right? And then there's like, oh, I want to fill this with color. It's like, well, how can you fill that in with color? It won't work. Now this thing, it's a closed path. You can fill it with color all you want. Okay, so I can choose a color and I can fill it. But if I go to these separate individual things, it can't fill it. Okay, so one of the things I want you to do is add your fill color as you go, so that you can see what it's going to look like. Because if you do this and then try to color it in, you'll realize, oh, I mess up. I can't color this in. So fill things in with color as you go to get an idea of what it's going to look like. And what else do we have on the list? Okay, so make paths, not individual lines. Oh, put art on separate layers. Okay, so the layers thing is nice, because let's say I have this artwork, right? And then all of a sudden I decide, okay, I want to start drawing some more stuff on top of it. So I'm starting to draw, and sometimes you'll start drawing, and this drawing will mess with this drawing. So what you do is you lock this layer, you create a new layer on top, and then you do your drawing on the new layer. And the cool thing is if you try to move stuff, well, if I try to move this thing, I can't move it. I can't mess it up, because it's locked and on a separate layer. Okay, so draw something beautiful. Draw some beautiful logo for me and Mr. Westfall, and we'll see how it goes, and we'll help you individually. Ready, go.